Welcome to The Fault. We have two brothers breaking down their business mistakes.
Hello everyone, Jay here, and today in The Fault, I'll talk about how important it is for me to get close to the customer in order to inform my marketing decisions.
And I'm Jared, and I will be talking about how important but how difficult it is to leave room for other people's emotions, especially during crises.
We'll see you there.
So, I'm in Saudi Arabia, in a very resort Saudi apartment.
I apologize. It's not a window, it's a fake window.
No, there is a window, but it's tiny. It's over in this corner. It's like, I think you can sort of see, like right here, this is the window.
Oh, you need to be better.
Tell people what to think.
No.
I do. I'm not good at that because I have very strong opinions about things.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Fault. I am Jay. I operate Bradfield Express Cabinets. We sell cabinets, and as always, I'm joined by my brother.
Hi, I'm Jared. I am the CEO of Worldwide English Services. We customize and deliver online English training courses for companies and government agencies.
Companies and government agencies. There we go. First of all, Jared, where are you and how is Wes? Give us an update on both, please. I know you move around a lot.
I do. As you can tell, I'm in a warmer place than you are. We have some detectives in our audience who have already figured that one out. But to confirm their guess, I'm in. Other detectives know this is a very Arab thing to have. There's a small window right over here, but the curtains cover the entirety of the wall. So when I was looking on Airbnb in this apartment, I thought, oh, that's great, a big window. Then I walked in, pulled back the curtains, like, wait, where's the window? So I'm in Saudi Arabia in a very resort Saudi apartment.
I apologize. It's not a window, it's a fake window?
No, there is a window, but it's tiny. It's over in this corner. It's like, I think you can sort of see, like right here, this is the window. All of this behind me is wall.
They just cover the whole wall with a curtain. Oh, good.
The whole wall. Yep, the whole wall. So I'm in Saudi Arabia, back in Riyadh. How am I? That was where I am. And how is Wes? Wes is doing okay. I am focusing on content. I am telling myself that I am enjoying that process. And so I've started recording videos. You and I have been working on this podcast for a little while. So getting a lot of practice in there, organizing teachers to record videos, starting to publish content. Next, I need to figure out I need to remember how to send out email newsletters, all of that. So getting on that ship, which is not my favorite because unlike if you go knock on a door, if you knock on a door, you find out immediately if the person is going to work with you or not, if you have a chance or not. If you send out an email or send out 50 emails or record a piece of content, it's like it's doing a little bit of shouting into the void, and you're hoping somebody else is out there in the void. And there are, of course, ways to do that well. I don't know them yet, but I'm working on them. In the meantime, I'm trying to focus on getting better at talking to the camera. So there we go.
How
are you doing?
That was good.
Was it getting there? Is it getting there?
Oh yeah, your charm is definitely coming through, and it's very believable. What is it? I can feel myself being, when you said about asking your teachers to record something, I felt like immediately like I wouldn't be able to, it'd be hard for me to ask them that because I'm not getting directly paid for that. And so how do I ask them to do something that's not paid and just for marketing the business? Was there any sort of, has that been was that not a struggle is too dramatic, but was that a process for you to figure that out? And how has the process been of communicating what you want from them and them delivering it back to you?
Mm-hmm. I didn't ask them, first of all. So I put together a document with all the requirements. I put together a lot of ideas of the types of videos and requirements for each of the types of videos. And then I sent out a message in our teacher chat saying, if anyone would like to be involved, here we go. What I always tell people in any situation like this is I don't care what you guarantee me, but once you guarantee it, I'll expect that to happen. So if you tell me you can do one video a week, that's fine. No worries. I'll expect one video a week. If you tell me you can do 5, fine, cool, but I'll expect 5. So I have two teachers. One of them is he said he can do 4 a week. The other teacher is not sure yet. He's going to do 1 and then see what he thinks. And then he'll tell me how much he can guarantee me. And then I'll fill in the rest because I'd like to do something like an average of maybe 1.5 videos a day, posting on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. We'll see. Short ones, like 15, 45 seconds is what I've put them for.
Yeah.
What the requirement is. So yeah, it's okay. There could be problems down the road, but we'll see what happens. For now, it's okay.
Seems like you safeguarded against most of them. It's interesting to see their reactions where some say nothing, some say I'll do the full thing, and others are like, I'll do 1 and see how it goes, more not committed to anything right away. Nice. Very cool.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. And then I'm trying to make it easier for them. Like all they have to do is record the raw video and send it to me. I have our podcast editor, their team, they're going to handle editing the videos for me, but I have pretty simple requirements for what I want them to be, and we'll push them out and see what happens. Add our small voice to the void. How about you over there? You're in a colder place, or your place has gotten colder, and how are you? And how is BEC?
BEC's good. Like I said last episode, we finished those couple of orders, and I have one waiting to hear back that I'll be ordering immediately. But other than that, I am in a similar boat, and that's actually what my regret, it's a heavy word, I use it somewhat lightly, is about today, because I'm actually going to just get right into it, because it's related to what you were talking about as well, and there's not a lot of news from here. We're just moving and shaking. So as I also focus on marketing and media, like communicating who we are, what we do, I struggle with having a strong guiding light. I know I struggle. I wrote down some of this. I'm gonna kind of read a little bit. It's not as authentic, but it's just better if I read a little bit of it. And I struggle with the subjective nature, because like when we're doing a website and talk about design and content, or like when we're recording a video or whatever, and it's subjective. It's like you could say this or you could say that. And so what I wish I had focused on early on, this is something you told me to do early on, is get close to the customer. And so as I'm hitting these different questions, as I'm doing all what I just said, including on the website, what to say in a video, it would be better if I had a clearer idea of who my ideal customer is, what they want and need, and how to tell them, how I can best reach and communicate that to them. And so I think my solution to that right now, after the fact, doing it late, is I'm basically going to go through the process of design, of writing, of storytelling, of branding, and write down the questions that I have. And when I get to that fork in the road of what's the order of content for the website, like do I put the cabinets first? Is the most important thing? Is is it the colors? Is it the services? Is it, I don't know. I don't know exactly. And so as I go through those things, I really dive into them, because it takes a while for my brain to really get focused on it and start diving into these things. Or as I'm writing a video, which is easier because that's more natural to me. As I start doing those things, I'll just write down the questions that I have and be like, pretend like if the person was right there, my ideal customer was right there, as I'm kind of painting who they are as in the process as well. But ask them, write down the things that I would ask them. What's more important to you? Is it getting them in 2 weeks, or is it that it's cheaper, or whatever it is?
Yeah.
And so I just hope that I'm hoping that I have the confidence to ask the few people that are currently in my world, and then also to find creative ways of asking potential clients who are not in my circle of influence right now for some of these answers. I need to do it soon because I need to make these decisions. It's just so I've got to stop making good the enemy of great, the enemy of good. I think that's the right way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's tricky. I have one thing I had my assistant do for, and I actually you were reminding me I need to follow up with her to make sure she's
Hmm.
updating it because I think we've let it fall by the wayside. I had her put together a Google sheet that where she was tallying all the questions that our clients ask. So when we're in a potential meet or a meeting with a potential client, she's writing down all those questions because then I want to write long form content in particular to address them. So any questions that the client has, that's a LinkedIn article right there, and something that I can point people in the future to. So yeah, that's a great call for sure. Um, and the other thing that's really helped me lately is getting reps in. And we've talked about that before for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to conferences and talking to a lot of people, and even a lot of
Yeah.
people that don't particularly need the services. But when you're talking with a lot of people, it just gives you so much information about what people are looking for, what's on the market, what to offer, what not to offer, what people don't care about, and you can stop emphasizing. And it's so nice. So it's tough. I mean, I have right over here, I have two piles of business cards because I went through one today. Tomorrow I'll be going through the last one. Yesterday I was going through the first one. So following up with everybody and getting all the pieces. The process is straight. It's tricky,
Yeah.
but I think it's worth it to have all that input and those reps
Yeah.
too. That really
Yeah.
helps for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of getting closer to them is just being out there and in that world. That's you've been going to a number of those conferences and such recently, and that's like a mass. Just have a pool
Yep.
of that. I don't. Yeah, yeah. So I have a couple of people I need to talk to. I have one project manager basically for a development company that I'm building a relationship with. He's a very very cool guy, and I'm feeling more and more comfortable. It's amazing. It's annoying how the level of comfort that I need to feel with somebody to be able to ask them for things. And so I need to be a little bit more. That's where the confidence comes in, and just being more straight to the point, not make it a big deal, and just ask the questions and things, and then get a variety of that, and then keep building out from there. And then just take that, and even if it's not perfect, just build something, just say something, just record something, and then work on the feedback, like you said, overemphasizing things that are not important. Like I mean, that's going to happen, and missing things for people like, oh yeah, I actually do that also, or I had that, and that's the most important thing. Okay, well let's move that up the
Yep.
list, and let me make a video about that specifically, or whatever it is. So anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
I like what you just said about putting out content because I'm trying to do some myself of my own content just to see how it works and get used to it. So I put out a video today with some thoughts, and almost immediately after I published it, it was the second version of the one that I did, and the only reason I re-recorded was to get it shorter. And then almost after I posted it, I had second thoughts. Okay, I could do it again. I could do it this way. I could do it that way. But I decided, no, I'm just going to, tomorrow I'll record something else, some more thoughts, and I will continue building on that foundation and building those skills. So I'm trying to do exactly what you're talking about. Just put it out there, learn from it, and get better, which is what we're doing here too.
That's exactly. I was just
Yep.
thinking that. Yeah.
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 I know
No,
most of our very large audience thinks we've probably been doing this for years, just based on the skill level we're displaying, but we actually haven't. We're just getting started.
we're very comfortable with all of this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're right. Yeah, it is all part of the process. What do you have for us today, Mr. Firth?
So, I'm going to take a tangential one, which I enjoy doing. So this happened not in the business world, but I think there's a lot of application in the business world. As some in our audience may know, we recently had an election, which was a pretty emotional situation for a lot of people, different people around on all sides. And what I found, I had a very strong emotional reaction of my own. So I was going through a lot of emotions, and I had a lot of conclusions as well. And I was reading a lot of posts by people, even who more or less agreed with me or were on my side of everything that happened. And I thought that they were drawing the wrong conclusions. Like they were pointing the finger in the wrong direction. And so I sent them a message in two cases that I can remember, not to be critical, but to just say, basically to give my argument. I don't think the finger should be pointing this direction. I think it should be pointed in that direction. And I think there were two problems with that. The first problem is that I was telling them what to feel. And I don't think you can ever really do that. I was saying you need to not be angry about those people. You need to be angry about those people. Or in other words, you need to match my emotions. And they didn't respond very well to that. And I think they had good reason to not respond particularly well to that. And the second thing was that I was jumping in on my, in Russian they say I was on emotions. What do we say in English? I had cools off. There we go. Emotional. Yeah, something like that. So I was dictating my emotions to other people. I think because I wanted some solidarity as well. Like I was hurting, I was frustrated, and I wanted other people to join me in that feeling. And that it didn't go very well. Like I almost immediately realized what I was doing after their initial response, and so I stopped. So it was okay. Like there weren't any ruptured relationships or anything like that. But I think that even in the business world, it's really important to remember that you can't tell people what to feel, number one. You need to leave space for what people are feeling. If something difficult happens at the office, even if something happens in somebody's personal life, whatever, there's, I don't know why this is the first example coming to my head, but their cat dies. And you're like, come on, it's not a big deal. And we have this big deal we have to sign. So get with the program. You're telling people what to feel, and people don't really control their emotions. So you're telling them that the way you are, something that you have no control over, is wrong. And that's a really, like, that cuts pretty deep. So I think that having empathy is really important in those cases, giving space for people's emotions, validating people's emotions, and especially in those points, especially in critical moments, especially in moments even where you disagree with them, because that's when the rubber meets the road. It's very easy to make space for people's emotions when you're happy and they're slightly more happy or something like that. It's much harder in those situations. So that was mine. A little bit tangential, but I think it definitely applies.
Yes, no, definitely.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking, well, first of all, I just want to clarify for the audience that it sounded like you were saying that your initial response if somebody's cat died would be to be like, it's not just a cat, get over it. That's not Jared Earth's initial reaction. I don't.
Not the official position of this podcast.
Yes, it's not. And it better not be of less, or I will go without learning English because I'm emotional.
You know what I say? All cats matter.
That's right. Yes. And that was the first reaction. It sounded like, we're not going to we're going to be empathetic.
And it is absolutely okay to have that reaction.
I don't like, this feels uncomfortable. You're saving space, holding space. The other thing was, I can picture even when somebody's like, and maybe forget whether or not they're right or wrong. If something goes wrong in the workplace, or not the workplace, but in the project, if something goes wrong, you can't just be like, even if they are incorrect, can't be like, no, you're wrong about that. It's whatever. You can address the underlying the evidence and the actual thing that happened. But I don't.
Yep.
I got to be careful of that, because I think it's really subtle and it's very natural to just be like, no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And maybe for trivial things and more obvious things like you slammed the door, or no, not slammed the door, or something, whatever. It's obvious, like, no, I actually didn't. You misheard me. I said the other thing. That's maybe different. But in a other situation, when you can look at the same thing and have two different perspectives on it, not stepping all over theirs. Very nice. I like that. I think that's very applicable, actually, within interpersonal, like within the office, and then outward facing as well. You need to be better.
Tell people what to think.
No,
I do. I'm not good at that because I have very strong opinions about things, and it frustrates me when people don't see the obvious truth that is right in front of them.
Yeah.
And also, I have the ability to show them the truth and lead them up to a glorious future. And what are they doing? Having their own feelings and making their own conclusions. It's ridiculous. Drives me crazy.
It is. It is.
That is the official position of this podcast.
This is our last episode. Is there was that really your goal and you didn't really realize, like you said, or is there a way? I was going to ask you, you've kind of got into it a little bit. I was going to ask you, is there a way to have a better conversation around it that didn't include telling them what to think or feel, that could have also gotten you what you wanted, as in a discussion about it and going back and forth? Was that beneficial, or was it more of a negative desire? And so if you were doing it healthfully, you wouldn't have gotten what you really wanted. You know what I mean? Was there a healthy version of that conversation that still would have satisfied you?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think I would say, first of all, that when people are all up in their emotions, it is impossible to have a rational conversation to whatever degree. So it's important. Perhaps there are situations in the workplace, for example, or I don't know, the cat died, but you still need to get the kids to work, or so. I don't know. We're going to stick with a cat dying example, where you have to kind of tell somebody to snap out of it for whatever case. But putting that aside, I think it's important to remember that when that's when you're, whatever it is, your lizard brain, your amygdala, or whatever part of the brain it is that handles those deeper, kind of ancient emotions like fear. I'm out of my depth here, so we'll stop with fear because I know that is one of them. So when you're handling those, you're just not thinking straight. Like, it's a fight or flight response. You're not in a state where you can have a reasonable conversation. So I guess one thing you could do is you can invite somebody to that conversation. You could say, "Oh, hey, sounds like you're really upset about that. I had some other thoughts. What do you think? Like, are you in a place where we can talk about this?" And then be okay with them saying no. And then if you're the only one, if I'm sitting here and I'm the only one who can see how the way things really are, and everyone else is deluded, well, that's my problem. That's like tough. If I can't get anybody, if nobody else is in a place to listen where I can get them over into my boat, then I'm just going to have to row alone.
There it is. I like both of those. It's very realistic. Okay.
Yep.
Well, and today, instead of very real... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You interrupt.
We don't have a real sponsor.
Well, instead of a very not fixed...
I was hoping for a bigger window. No money for a bigger window.
No money for a bigger window.
Oh boy. Okay.
Got a new...
All right. What do we got?
Today, instead of it, I'd just like to highlight a role model for us all during these times. I think we look for people that really exemplify the things that we should be more like. And this is a role model who I think we should be more like in our business lives and possibly even in our personal lives. Do you feel like maybe it's too late to start a business or get back out there and fight for what you want? Do you feel unready and outmatched by the competition in your industry? If that sounds like you, well, maybe you should try to be more like Mike Tyson's manager and just put yourselves out there. No matter what happens, good, bad, awkward, whatever, just get out there and live your dreams. Did you watch the fight?
I did not. I only have vague ideas even about when it was and how it ended. And
it was last Friday, and it was just for me it was sad. I don't want to disrespect the legend, but I mean it was just sad. I mean it's like it was just so clear he should not have been in there, and that it was a bit of a charade and whatever, and so sometimes we just got to get out there, and just do it and just go for it.
Punch
and if it doesn't make sense. Yeah, get punched in the face.
Especially for line. What was it? $20 million did he make or something like that?
Yeah. Something. Yeah. One of them. They say those numbers are. I think they're all fake. But anyway, I think one said he got 20 and Jake got 40 or something like that. Whatever it is.
I think that's what I heard. Yeah.
I don't particularly like fighting, but the women's fight before that with Amanda, I forget her name, Serrano or something like that, and the other girl, Kelly something, I forget that. I'm bad with names. I watched that whole thing. That was brutal to watch. I'm watching like this because I don't particularly like violence, and I'm like, but it was a great fight if you like fights. I was like, that was like way more entertaining than like the other face. I just kind of had those cringe face watching. Anyway, it's just a little bit of something. I think that's it for today. We'll cut it off there.
Cool.
Good?
All right.
Well, thank you all for watching and for listening. We'll see you next episode.